Hey everyone, this is Dan Annis, and this is my review for MPX1403 Week 2. Basically, we're going to go over some game playing heuristics for two games. And the two games I did was World Plague Contamination, which is a board game, and then I also did another game called Blood Brothers, which is a role-playing game. So I'll go over the quick one first. I say quick because this one seemed to be a little bit more entertaining. It didn't have very many flaws. Um, so a little skeptical in the beginning. I'm presented with a ad. I don't even get a splash screen for this application. I just get an ad of a shoe, which has nothing to do with anything that I'm interested in. But so the first sense of the gameplay, I was like, awesome. This is going to be a good one. But the reviews were really bad, so I kind of expected something to make myself not want to play this game. But anyway, so once you get past the ad, we get ourselves into the splash screen, which allows us to play more games, remove ads, or store, etc. So the splash screen, not terrible, pretty easy to get by. So you go to play. Click on a level, and then so basically the first set of instructions for gameplay is to infect one carrier. Looking at this, there's no help. You can go into these settings down here, but for the most part there's no help. You're not real sure what you do, which leaves a little bit of exploration for the game player, which in my opinion I think that's part of game playing, is to learning um, how the game works, what you're supposed to do. So while the goal is to just infect one carrier, you may not know how to. So that's part of the way to learn. So all you do really is you get a bunch of these little, I don't know what you want to call it, maybe a cell or something, and you tap on the screen, it turns red, a little heat map, let's say, turns red, and the red stays on for a couple seconds, and every time a green infectious ball falls into that red area, it kind of infects again, and then the infection can spread. And as you can see, as these balls crash into, these balls are constantly moving, bouncing from edge of the screen to the next edge of the screen. And then as you get more and more, the infection, I guess, spreads. And so each level, you're required to get a certain amount of them, collect some of them, and to beat the final level, you have to get all of them, which is interesting. Once you get to a different level, or a map or board, whatever you want to call it, you get these kind of dividers which offset the infectious balls from their bouncing, and you may have to strategize as to which, do you want to infect the left or the right side and hope that it spreads across, and that kind of thing. So there's a little strategy involved. Overall, this game was addicting, and it made me keep playing it for some reason. It's a very simple game, but it's kind of intriguing and fun to play, because maybe it's fun to watch. You click on the button and you really don't do anything else, but it's fun to watch um, watch yourself spread or kill these things fairly quickly. The only complaint about this game, there's no real reward. You get a splash screen that says level 1 complete or whatever, but that's it. There's no, you can share on Facebook or Twitter, but what am I sharing? That I beat the first level? That would be the only thing. Maybe some sort of reward or some sort of achievements that you can achieve. Something that can just give the user something fun, a reason to keep playing the game. I've almost gotten to, there's 4 sets of maps as far as I can tell, and I'm already there. It took me about an hour to get there. I hope there's more, just for the sake of the game. Otherwise, the usability is going to be gone for the application, and then the user kind of stops playing after that. But Overall, I'm not going to go through all the gameplay heuristics because I think they met almost every single one of them, aside from the players are rewarded. And if we were talking about the previous heuristics, I would say the ads are killer. They just show up constantly. There's no way to get around them except putting on the X. But you're so used to keep playing the game that you hit ads all the time, which is very irritating. So the other game, um, which we'll talk about now, is Blood Brothers. This game I gave a heuristic score, severity rating of 20. This game, which we can see here, here's a splash screen. We sign in with Facebook. This is a role-playing game, so there's a little bit of a story involved. A couple screens, I think it was like 5 or 10, something around there. You can skip it if you choose to. You can choose your character that you want to play. It's got some health points, fighting points, shield points, knowledge, I guess. So you kind of go through that. And then there's this tutorial basically announcing, hey, here's how to play the game. So a little story behind it, that kind of thing. You have your information bar up on top. This is what's going on in the game. You can look at your map and several other things down below. So the start of the game, you see these messages from the people that just constantly come up, and then as you move, which moving we can talk about here in a minute, but as you move, you encounter people to fight. Your fight sequence consists of a screen and then fighting. There's no interaction, it just happens. You don't have any say on what's going on, what you should do, what you should play, if there's a spell or anything like that I expected. There wasn't any gameplay. It was basically like, hey, fight, okay, you won. Never lost a fight while I played the game. So you gain experience points, I guess. As you can see here, health points. I saw these things gain as I was playing, but nothing really changed. And then I cleared the level. The movement of the game was just moving. It wasn't very interactive at all. I didn't really find the game very fun, or there must have been some missions involved, but the board only really gave you 1 or 2 directions to go. It almost seemed like the game is predetermined. The same things. If I were to quit this game completely or delete it off my phone and then download it again, I would probably go through the same steps, the same interactions, and there wouldn't be any element of creativity or user explore, where the user can explore things. So just going down the list, I'm going to go through most of them just for the mere fact that I felt this game was really lacking some game playing things. So provides clear goals and support player created goals. I didn't see this. There's goals in mind, but the player doesn't actually get to make those goals. And you don't actually see the goals. You see the story behind it and what's going on. But you don't really get to do a whole lot of anything. It just seems like the game is on auto run. So I put that as a major issue, just because it's not interesting to me when I'm being told exactly what I'm supposed to do for the game. The player sees game progress and can compare the results. So you can definitely see game progress because you move into the game, but there's no, there's no interaction. After a fight level or a level's complete, basically it says, hey, you're done, here's some items, but what do you do with those items? There's nothing in there that gives you anything to compare or illustrate that, hey, I'm doing good or I'm doing bad. The players are rewarded, and rewards are meaningful. I guess I didn't give that a rating just for the fact that I am getting things as rewards. Not sure what they're for, but I guess that would fall into the meaningful. They probably serve a purpose, more health points as the bosses get tougher. I imagine I'd lose health points more, but the player's in control. This, I would say, is a, you do have control is the fact that you come to an intersection, you can choose which left or right you want to go. But I think the game is still predetermined. I think all of the fight sequences and stuff like that are just already auto played, and I'm just not a big fan of that kind of gameplay where you're just told what to do. Challenge, strategy, pace. Again, big disappointment. There's nothing that I can do in a fight scene. I can't, add a spell or do something, add a defense or anything. It's basically like a quick 2-second blip of fight, done, that kind of thing. Level clear. It's kind of not very exciting. I gave that a minor. I toggled between it could be a major, but again, I'm going to leave it at a minor. The first time experience is encouraging. I don't feel like it was. I really was set off, and let down in the very beginning, just with the music not being very energetic. It wasn't really promoting anything fun, and I completed a couple missions, I guess you want to call them, but there wasn't a whole lot of involvement from me. So it was basically like, okay, do the steps, and I'm done. So it wasn't very exciting, and to me, this app is going to be deleted immediately. Game story supports the gameplay. That's fine. There's no repetitive or boring tasks. You do have tasks as far as moving and such. You can't just sit there and do nothing. But there's nothing repetitive, or boring, I guess. So I kept that on there. That's none. The players can express themselves. The game seems like one big walkthrough or tutorial with little interaction from the user. So I don't think I can express anything in this application except that it's not real exciting. You don't have a way to roam around the map. It's basically, here's the path, take the path. So to me, that's kind of a major issue. The game supports different playing styles. I don't think there is a style. I think it's, here's what you do, and we'll get you to the end if you just follow what we've predetermined, I guess. The game does not stagnant. I just left that as none. The game is consistent. It is consistent. It's consistently boring, in my opinion. While that's not a major issue, the game does stay consistent with its UI patterns and just basic game playing features. I did give another minor severity rating on the orthogonal unit differentiation. Basically, you do have to pick up items that do mean something in the game. However, they don't really clearly explain what these things are for. You pick up tools and treasure boxes and things that may excel you into the game, but there's nothing that clearly defines what those things do and how that helps you get somewhere. So I left that as a minor. And the player does not lose any hard-won possessions. I got all my possessions. I never lost them because I won every battle. Not real sure how I lose a battle. So overall, if I were to rate this game, I would definitely give it a 1 for your game playing for sure. There's not a whole lot of action. So those are my 2 games this week. Blood Brothers RPG, I don't recommend it. And the other game, which was the World Plague Contamination, while it is monotonous, it's actually pretty engaging and kind of fun. So hope you guys had a good week, had a lot of fun playing some games, and look forward to next week.